Hello, welcome back. Trust you're able to learn one or two things in my previous lesson. I really appreciate you all. In this lesson, we'll be discussing the case statements. Now, what is case statement? Case statement is a conditional expression in SQL that acts like an if, then, or else logic. It allows you to perform conditional logic directly within SQL queries. Now, let's see some syntax of how it actually works. Now, in the case of what? Of a case statement now, we have a case. Now, when, it works along with the when clause. Now, the condition, let's say condition one, so, then results, what this condition one will result to. Now, another one is maybe another when, condition two, then result to condition, result to this condition one will then result to result one, condition two will result to result two, and then let's just give any other thing again, else, let's say else, and then we end it. So this is how it actually comes out, or how it actually works. Now let's see some business questions under it now, using the default database that actually comes with the MySQL. Now I'll just delete this and we'll start fresh now by solving this question we actually have on our screen now. Now the first question says categorize films by rental rates. That was the first question. The second question says classify customers by numbers of rentals. The third question says categorize payments as small payments, that means less than $2, comma, regular payments, that's small payment, that's less than $2, regular payments, that's $2 to $5, or large payment, that's greater than $5. That means any payment that is less than $2, we should classify it as what? Small payment. While the regular payment, that's $2 to $5. That means a range of what? $2 to $5. While the third payment is talking about what? Large payment, that's greater than anything above $5, we classify it as what? Large payment. The third question says highlight customers by last payment date, while the fifth question says prioritize customers by spending tier. The sixth one says use case in order by. That means we should use case to sort, to prioritize customers. And second to the last says classify countries by economic category, and the last one says customer lifetime value tiering. Now let's take these questions one after the other with much of our time. Now what this question actually says is that, now if you come across, let me highlight this, categorize films by rental rate. Now what this question is actually saying is that what? Classify each films, whether let's say like low, medium, or high, based on the rental rate. So that's what the question is actually talking about. Now in this case, we'll be using the rental table. That's the rental table is under the Sakila database. So in that case, I'll just highlight the Sakila database now. Collapse this. Now it has been highlighted. Let's continue. Now let's start. Select. What do we actually want to select? Now let's bring out the title of the movie. The movies we have title, comma, and renter underscore rate, rental underscore rate. Now, this is where we start using our case now. Case. Now, case what? When we bring out our when renter underscore rate, sorry, when renter underscore rate is less than 1, then classify it as what? As low. As low. That's as low. Now, when, let's bring out when again. When renter underscore rate now between, I'll be using between here now, between 1 and let's say 3, then in bracket medium, classify it as medium. Now, else any other thing, classify it as what? High. Now, we'll now end it now. We'll end the case. Since that's everything we are bringing out, end as what? Rate. That's the case we're actually working on, case category. End this as what? End this as what? Rate category. Now, don't forget from which table? Because we are talking about theme, from themes table, put a semicolon, control enter. Now, you can see now, we've actually rate all the movies we have now. You can see now, this is less than 1. So we actually rate it as what? As low. Now, this is greater than 3. We've classified it as what? As high. Now, what this query has actually does is that it has created a new column for us. That's which is what? Rate underscore category. Using the case to assign a category based on the what? Renter underscore rate. Are you with me? Now, and this has helped the business to what? To understand the pricing distribution and identify if most films fall in a what? In a premium or a discount category. That's the essence of the what? Of the case statement. Now, let me just copy question 2 now. Now, let's solve this now. Now, this question says classify customers by what? By numbers of renter. Now, what this question is actually talking about is that we should group customers into, let's say, like inactive, regular, and frequent. That's the case of this now. We should group them. Let's say that customers that are actually active for their rental, we should give them what? Frequent. Probably they are not really active. Let's classify them probably like what? Regular. And those that are not active at all as inactive, based on their numbers of the what? Of their rentals. Now, let's solve this question now. Now, let's see the customers table for this now. Let's see the customers table. Let me close all these previous tables. Let me close this. Now you can see this table has what customer ID store underscore ID, first name, last name, email, address underscore ID, active. So and the question also talks about customer and at the same time what? Renter. Sorry, at the same time renter, and based on this, it also talks about what? Active. So let's use the customers table now to solve this question. Now, in this case, I will select. Now, what will I select now? Customer. What do I want to bring out from the customer? Customer underscore ID. Customer underscore ID, comma. Now, I'm not bringing out everything. That's why I wanted to select some. First underscore name, comma. Now, comma. Let's say customer dot c dot last underscore name, comma. Now, count. What do we actually want to count? Now, renter. That's the renters table. Now, let's see the renters table here now. This renters table. You can see this also has customer ID, renter date, renter ID. Now, let's come back here. Now, renter. What do we actually want to bring out here? The renter underscore ID, close parenthesis, as what? Count it as what? As total underscore renters. So we are using the customers table and at the same time with the what? Renters table, comma. Now, let's bring out our case now. Case. Now, when, don't forget. Now, what do we actually, when what? When, yes, I'll be using my count, open parenthesis, when count, that's what? The renter, rent underscore ID, close parenthesis, is less than, now, let's say if it is less than 10, then classify it as what? As inactive. Inactive. Now, when count, open parenthesis, renter, that means we are working with the renters table now. Renter dot, that's renter underscore ID, close parenthesis, if it is now between 10, that's, so the first one between 10 and say 30, then classify this as what? As regular. As regular, else. Now, frequent. frequent. Now let's end this now. End as what? As customer. What should we type? What should we tag it as? Let's say customer type. You can actually type in tag it as anything you like. Let me just use customer type. From where? From, that's the table. From, I actually make use of what? Two tables here. From customers table. Sorry, customers table. Now I'll be using, since I make use of two tables, I'll be using the, let me use left join now. In this case now, let me use left join. Left join to actually join the two tables together. The renter, what are we joining it on? On customer, sorry, customer underscore ID equals renter dot customer underscore ID. Now, because that's actually what is common to the two we actually used. Now, let's group it. Group by, let's say customer. We pick the what? The customer underscore ID from the customers table to group it by. Now, let's put semicolon here. Let me just use a small c here, since I make use of small c all through. Control enter. You can see it now. Now, based on the outcome of our result now, we have calculated the total rentals for each customers and use what? Case to classify them. And this has also helped in what? In customer segmentation for targeted promotion or reward. Now you can see it now. If there should be reward or what? Targeted promotion now. You can see now actually what? It has actually direct or give us an insight where we actually what? Work on. Mary Smith now has what? Total rental of what? 32. This is frequent. Those that actually has more than 30 now, we classify them as what? As frequent. Less than 30, we give them what? Irregular. And less than 10, we give them inactive. Now let's solve the next question now. Now, this question says categorize payment as small payment, which is less than $2, $2 to $5, that's for regular and large payments. Now, in this case, we'll be using the payments table. Now, let's see our payments table now. We have the payment underscore ID, customer underscore ID, staff underscore ID. These are amount and rental underscore ID. Now, let's solve this question now. Let's select. Now, what are we selecting? Payment underscore ID, comma, customer underscore ID, comma, amount, comma. Now, let's bring out our case. Now, when amount less than 2, let's say amount less than 2, then classify it as what? As small payment. Now the next one, when amount between between two, let's say 5 2 and 5, then then classify it as what? Regular, based on what we have in the question, regular payment. Now else else large payment Now let's end this now. End as payment underscore size. So let's end this as payment underscore size. That means the size of their payment. Now from where? From from payment table. Now let's run this now. Now based on our result now, this has helped us analyze our what? Payment behavior, and also it may what? Inform what? Pricing or bundling what? Strategies. For instance now, many large payments now may just justify a what? A loyalty program. Now this question says highlight customers by last payment date. That means what this question is actually talking about is we should classify customers as, let's say, like recent, dormant, or let's say at risk. Based on the what? Based on the date of their what? Last payment. For instance now, probably if their deadline payments, their deadline payments, let's say like tomorrow now, and some customers, for instance now, if for instance their deadline payment is tomorrow and the customer has not make payment yet, it's getting to some hours to what? For the deadline of the payment. Now we can just classify those ones as what? At risk. So that's what the question is actually talking about. Now we'll be using our payments table. We've seen the payments table before, so in order not to waste our time, let's select. Now what are we selecting? Let's pick, in this case I will pick, I'm not picking out everything, customer underscore id from what? Payments table, comma. Now in this case I want to use the max window function, max, open parenthesis. Now payment underscore date, that's what I'm actually working on. Payment underscore date, close parenthesis, as what? As last underscore payment, comma. Now case, what is the case now? The case is when max open parenthesis, that's for payment. Now that's payment underscore date close parenthesis is greater than date underscore sub, I will explain everything, sub open parenthesis, call date. That means the what? The current date. Call date. Now, open parenthesis, close parenthesis for that, comma, interval. Interval, let's say in month is 30 days, 30 days interval, close parenthesis, then recent. Now, when again, when marks, open parenthesis, payment underscore date, close parenthesis, between date underscore sub, open parenthesis, current call date, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, comma. Now, interval, this time around, let's say 90 days. Because we've used 30 days for the first one, let's use 90 days. 90 days, close parenthesis, and what? Date underscore sub, what are we, sub what? Call date, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, comma, interval, 30 days, close parenthesis, then dormant. Let's give this one dormant. Now, else. That's the last one. At risk. Based on what I explained earlier, at risk. Now, in quotes. From which table? Sorry, end as what? Let's classify this as, let's say, status. From payment, that's P, payment table. Should we group it by? Okay, let's see it like, okay, let's group by. Group by. Okay, the cap plug is still on. Group by payment dot customer underscore ID colon. Now, control enter. I'm not performing magic. Now, what we have here now, what this is actually saying now, based on what I actually explained earlier now, this interval of days now, let's say like 30 days interval, that means you have to make a payment now. If you don't make that payment within what, 30 days interval, or you are being given 90 days interval now, if you don't make that payment now, you now make the payment at, let's say, like extreme of the what, of the 90 days. That's what, at risk. That's what this is actually saying. That's why we use the max function. That means maximum 90 days interval or 30 days interval. Using the current date, that means current date, let's say like from now till the next 90 days or from now till the next 30 days. This is what this is actually saying. Now, based on what's in the output now, the customers with old payment dates now may need what? Re-engagement, because the business can use this what? To prioritize marketing campaign. This question says prioritize customers by spending tiers. Now, what this question is actually talking about is we should rank customers, let's say rank them. We can just rank them, we'll place them on some status, like let's say if the best should go for, let's say like gold, silver, followed by bronze. So in that case now, based on their total amount they've actually spent. Now let's solve this question now. We'll be using the payments table because they said it was spending tiers of the what? Of the customer. Let's just select. Now, what are we selecting this time around? Customer ID. Let's bring out our customer ID, comma. Now, the sum, open parentheses. Now, what are we bringing out now? Amount, close parentheses. We want to sum the amount. Total underscore spend. Now, case when sum, don't forget, when sum, open parentheses, when sum, what are we summing now? The amount, what we have there, parentheses, is less than 100, let's say like $100, then classify it as what? As bronze. When sum, open parentheses, amount, close parentheses, between 100 and, let's say 100 and 300, or 100 and, let's say 200, 100 and 200, then give it silver, else classify it as what? Give it gold. This is giving indicating error somewhere. Oh, I didn't put a comma. That's why it's bringing out error. Now, okay, and as what? As spending. Let's classify it as spending tiers, as we have it in the question. Underscore tier. Spending tier. From where? Sorry. From payment. Now, group. Let's group this now. Group by customer underscore ID. Semicolon, control, enter. Now, you can see it now. Segmenting the customers now by their total spend allows the what? the business to customize offer and allocate service resources effectively. Now, if those are the actually less than 100, now what I'm trying to say is that those are the actually less than 100, they will go for what? Bronze. Those are the above 100 to 200, that they fall between the category of 100 to 200, they what? They will be classified, they will go for silver, and while above 200 will go for gold. Now, let's quickly solve the next question. It seems we have how many questions left now? Now, use case in order by to prioritize what? Customers. Now, what this question is actually talking about is show customers with, let's say, gold tier first, followed by silver and what? And diamond. Let gold, silver, and what? And bronze. Something we use in the board in the previous question. Let's select. We'll still be using our payments table. Let's select now customer underscore id comma id. Now let's sum open parenthesis. What are we summing? The amount, close parenthesis, as what? As total underscore spent, comma. Now case. Now when sum open parenthesis amount, close parenthesis, is less than 100, then bronze in quotes. Now the next one, when sum open parenthesis amount close parenthesis between 100 and 200, then silver now else gold. Now from where? From payment table. Now from payments table, group by, why is it bringing a red sign here? Is it still bringing it? If it's bringing this red sign continuously, it means what we did is actually wrong. Oh yes, I didn't end it. End, let me use capital log. End as what? As spending underscore tier. It's similar to what we actually did here, but we'll make it a bit complex than that. Case, we'll bring out the case again. Now when sum, open parenthesis, amount, close parenthesis, is greater than 200, then one. When sum, don't forget, sum when sum amount between 100 and 200, then 2, else give it 3. Let's end this now. End. We'll just put a column here. Now, let's see what we actually have. Error. Invalid use of group function. Yes, group function. Oh, we didn't group by anything here. Customer. Let's group it by customer underscore ID. Customer underscore ID. Let's group by customer underscore ID, and let's order by. That means we should sort it by this. So let's run this now. Let's see what we actually have. Fine, we have a perfect answer. Question says, now based on what the question says now, the question says use case in order by to prioritize the customer. We've actually solved it before. Now make use of our what? Order by here now. That means we order it by what? Another case actually what? Actually sort it by and still arrive at the same answer. So let's solve the next question now. Control C. Now, this question says classify countries by economic what category. Now, what this question is actually talking about is that if you categorize each country as, let's say, like low income, middle income, or high income, that means based on their gross national product. That means based on their GMP, we'll be using, let's see the word database now, because this actually deals with population. Now let's see the tables now under it now. Let's see let me just collapse this. Let's see the table under here. Let's see this. Okay, let's see country. I think this country is more complex. It has population, GNP. So we'll be using this table. Now, let's be fast about this. Let's select. Now, let's bring out, based on what we have here, we have the column for name. Let's bring out name. Now, name, GMP. Comma. Now let's bring out the population column. That's all. Now, case. Now, case. When, don't forget, when clause. When GMP divided by, that's a national income. That the GMP will stand for national income, and the GMP population divided by population now is less than 1000. Then low income. Low income. You classify this as low income. When GNP, that means gross national product, is less than divided by population between 1000 and okay, let me use 10,000. We've used 1000 and oh, it's between 1000 and 10,000. Then classified as middle income. Else high income. And as let's put this as income underscore group from which table now? Country table where GMP is from which table? Country table where GMP is not null, that means it's not empty, and population is greater than 0. So I want a real value for it. That's why I said that. Hit on enter. Error. Select name. GMP population case when unknown population in field list. Oh, okay. Population. Oh, population. Let's collapse this. I think it's only that place. Now let's run it now. Now, all what's actually bringing it. That's why I said where GMP is not null. Now, that's why I said where GMP is not null and population is greater than 0. That means I want real value for this analysis. Now, this can help multinational businesses to decide whether to invest or expand operation in some countries or not. Now, this is the last question on this. Customers lifetime value tiering. Now, what this question is talking about is that we should determine the customer lifetime value and group them into what? Into tiers. Now, let's solve this question. In this case, we'll be using the Sakila database. So we'll be using our customers table. Let's quickly solve this and let's round up this lecture. Now, we'll just select select. What are we selecting? I don't want to bring out everything under customers table. Customer underscore ID, comma. Now customer dot first underscore name, first underscore name, comma, first underscore name dot underscore last underscore name. Now, comma, let's sum. We'll be using our sum function. Now, open parentheses. What do we actually want to sum? Now, let's use our payments table. That means we are bringing amount from payments table, close parentheses, as what? As lifetime underscore value. Sorry, let me just put comma here so that we won't be having error as we move on. Underscore value. Now let me just bring case now. Case, enter. When sum, what we actually sum earlier now, sum open parentheses. Now payment dot amount, close parentheses, is less than what? Let's say it's less than 100. Then give it what? Sorry, low value, close parentheses. When sum, open parentheses, payment, now amount, close parentheses. Now between 100 and 300. Then give it as medium value. Else high value. End as what? What should we end it as? Let's say value tier. Value underscore tier. Now from where? From customers table. So represent it as C. Now we know we make use of two tables, so we'll make use of our join now. Join. What are we joining? Payment. That's P on. That's what they have in common. C dot customer underscore ID underscore. Now, since we bring out payment first, so we'll be starting from when we want to bring out the we'll be starting from the word second table, that's the customer. So equals now, we'll now bring out the, I normally say this several times, dot customer underscore ID. Let's bring it out for us. That's the column we are actually talking about. Now, you can just group it by Group it by what? By customer_ID semicolon. Let's run this now. Let's see what we have. Error. The table Sakila customer. Oh, where is this? Where do we have this? Okay, here. Let's run this now. Now it's actually correct. You can see it now. Now, based on this outcome of the what? Of the query now. This analysis has determined which customer brings the what? The most value over time, and it also what? Inform us the what? The strategic resources allocation for retention efforts. Now, that will be all for this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, click on the notification bell. When I drop a new video, you get notified. See you in the next lesson. Bye for now.